from Wingate University and WUTV. This is Wingate Today.
Experiencing racing up close. Wingate students get to go behind the scenes at the Houston Grand Prix. Highlights from Homecoming 2013. Students helping a small business grow globally. And why are firefighters setting this room on fire? But first, the economic impact of Wingate University. Hello and welcome to Wingate Today. I'm Jeff Atkinson. A study was commissioned for Wingate to see what kind of impact the university has on the local economy. Dr. John Connaughton, a highly respected economist at UNC Charlotte, who's done hundreds of these economic impact studies, looking at NASCAR, the Carolina Panthers, Charlotte Bobcats, and dozens of companies and industries, analyzed Wingate's data and found the university supports directly and indirectly a total of 1,515 jobs, which amounts to an economic impact of $138 million a year. He says that's about the same as the annual economic impact of the Charlotte Bobcats.
And from that, we can develop the multipliers.
Connaughton presented his findings to the Wingate University Board of Trustees meeting in October, held in Ballantyne in South Charlotte. He says Wingate's economic impact is significant.
I don't know many communities that can look at 1,500 jobs that are supported by one particular economic institution and not think that's a pretty good number.
Connaughton told us the findings surprised even him. While Wingate's peer institutions have seen double-digit declines in enrollment since 2008, Wingate's headcount from 2008 to 2012 is up nearly 23%. And since 2003, enrollment has doubled from 1,500 students to now more than 3,000. With all the growth, the university is laying the groundwork for the future. The Campus Master Plan is being updated. And Dean Rodeheaver, a campus planner with CREDO Higher Education based in Wisconsin, presented preliminary findings from campus focus groups to the Board of Trustees. The plan that's taking shape has honed in on these three areas: creating a health and wellness center for recreation programs, building premier learning environments, and additional housing. The questions the consultants are asking:
how have you organized to help students learn and be successful academically? We want to talk about how well you are welcoming people to campus for the first time and what that experience should be like, what you want it to be like. And we also want to talk about how you're living with the enormous enrollment success that you've had so far.
The Campus Master Plan consultants say they have been impressed with the way the faculty, staff, and students have gotten involved. Student attendance at the focus sessions outpaced anything that they've seen before. We mentioned the Wingate Board of Trustees held its October meeting in Ballantyne. Well, while they were there, they took a tour of the university's new campus in the Ballantyne Corporate Park in the Harris Building off Ballantyne Commons Parkway. The trustees got to see the state-of-the-art classrooms and marvel at the amenities and how quickly construction was completed.
What a beautiful building and a beautiful setting. It's a marvelous facility. The ceilings are 12 feet high, beautifully done, and the fact that they got it done between June and August is really overwhelming.
Wingate took lease of the building the 1st of June. Classes began in August. Wingate Ballantyne houses the School of Graduate Education and offers an adult bachelor degree, MBA, Master of Arts in Sport Management, and continuing education programs. Reaching out to the community, Wingate students invited kids of all ages to the annual Fall Carnival, held on the Camden Promenade on the Tuesday before Halloween. Here's a little one having fun at the booths. There were games and prizes given away. Organizers asked families to bring a canned food item as admission. The non-perishables were then donated to a local food bank. Homecoming weekend at Wingate kicked off with the annual 5K and 1-mile fun run. Almost 350 laced up their shoes and got up early for the race through campus. The event was organized by the School of Sports Sciences. Proceeds help fund special initiatives for students in the sports sciences. Scenes from Homecoming Parade on Saturday, November 2nd. President Jerry McGee and his wife, members of the Homecoming Court. They have that parade wave down pat, don't they? And floats from student organizations. Candy was tossed out to the kids, and after that, something quite fitting, a toothbrush, courtesy of Wingate's Pre-Dental Club. Outside the Bat Center on Homecoming Saturday, they broke ground on a new addition to the Fine Arts Center. The music programs have outgrown their current space, so a 5,500 square foot addition will be built, which will allow the programs to expand.
Wingate University acknowledges again the importance of a strong, growing Department of Music.
This place, this building, is a source of endless opportunity
The addition will be named the Cynthia Leggett Bullock Center for Music Studies. Jim Bullock of Greensboro, an alum from 1968, made a generous donation in memory of his late wife, who died 4 years ago.
She would really be proud that this building is going to be named after her, because music and arts was a big part of her life, and she donated time and her money to those fields. So I feel very proud to be able to have this building named after her, and I will continue to support the music program.
The university is nearly 3/4 of the way toward raising $1.4 million in a campaign for music. The music addition is expected to be completed by mid-May. Officials also took the wraps off Wingate's newest dormitory, the J.M. Smith Residence Hall. Actually opened in January, it was dedicated this fall. It came up out of the ground fast. This was June 2012 on a tour with VP of Operations, Scott Hunsucker. This has really come together quickly.
It has. It's an accelerated project for us.
October 2013, Dedication Day. J.M. Smith Hall, a new 3-story, 300-bed dorm for first-year students, built at a cost of $8.2 million.
This is such a significant moment for our institution.
The beauty of this residential hall adds to the great prestige of our university.
The hall is named in honor of the J.M. Smith Corporation, which made a donation to Wingate.
We're proud of this. We're thankful for the naming opportunity of this building.
The J.M. Smith Corporation, based in Spartanburg, operates 6 business units focused in healthcare and technology. It's the 3rd largest privately held company in South Carolina. President Ken Couch told us this is not the first university they've donated to, but it is the largest. The Smith Foundation, which gave the gift, likes what Wingate is doing with its School of Pharmacy, training future pharmacists.
We're investing in the future of pharmacy with students that have been proven coming out of Wingate are excellent students. They're excellent in the community. They do a great job. They do what pharmacists are supposed to do. They make people healthier, and we love Wingate for that.
On the day the residence hall was dedicated, university officials recognized Wingate President Jerry McGee for 21 years of service. With his family and friends, GR and Mary Ellen Kindley standing beside him at midfield during halftime of the football game, the announcement was made. The President's Box at Irwin Belk Stadium will be called the Jerry E. McGee President's Box. The Kindleys gave a generous gift to have it named in McGee's honor. And for the President, the day was capped off with this.
O'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
President McGee's granddaughter, 8-year-old Tara McGee, that's right, she's 8, singing the national anthem at the football game. You often hear the negative things that college athletes do. Well, why not something positive for a change?
Are y'all excited for middle school?
About a dozen Wingate football players had lunch recently with 5th graders at Wingate Elementary School.
What you like to do? Play sports or anything?
Basketball.
Basketball?
Part of a community outreach effort by the football team. They signed autographs and took pictures. The grade school students benefit from seeing a positive role model up close, and the football players get to interact with great kids.
Anytime you're on a football team, people are watching you and they see what you do, and especially young kids. And anytime I can have an influence at all, no matter how small it is, I try to use my position for things like that, to just give a positive role model, positive type influence for anybody.
Later, they passed out Wingate University backpacks to remind the students of this special day. Joining us now is the voice of Bulldog Sports, Ryan Brown. And Ryan, some incredible things going on in sports.
That's right, Jeff. 3 more major championships to celebrate for Wingate Athletics, and we have to start with Wingate Women's Cross Country, who after winning their SAC championship in the regular season, backed it up with a NCAA regional championship, the first in school history. The Wingate women sprinkled with freshmen and seniors, and Wingate head coach Joe Sunland remembers when the Wingate women got the bug to win this regional title.
Extremely proud of this team. When our now seniors were freshmen, they always talked of having goals of wanting to go to nationals and things of that nature. And I don't think they fully understood the vastness of accomplishing something like that. But they got a little taste when Keeley qualified last year individually, and I think that kind of flicked a switch.
Secondly, Wingate women's soccer won their second SAC tournament title in the last 3 seasons. The Bulldogs finished second in the regular season by just 1 game, but used that second opportunity to again win their second SAC title in 3 years. That gives them an automatic bid at the NCAA tournament for the 3rd year in a row. Wingate won the SAC tournament on this goal by Jade Montgomery with under 1 minute to go. Montgomery, the 2-time SAC Player of the Year. Wingate head coach Chip Wiggins desired this championship for the entire team, but especially his senior class.
Since I've been here in February, you know, the team, you know, the seniors, everything that I've done as a coach has been directed towards those seniors. I want so much for them and for them to accomplish so much, and not being able to get the regular season for them was really disappointing for me personally, and I was trying to do everything I could as a coach to get those girls the SAC tournament championship their senior year.
And finally, Wingate Volleyball, who clinched their 8th straight regular season South Atlantic Conference championship for Wingate University overall. That was the 100th conference championship since Wingate joined NCAA Division II. Bulldog head coach Shelton Collier also closing in on his 900th career win as a volleyball coach. The Wingate University volleyball team #1 in the NCAA Regional. They'll have the SAC tournament coming up in late November, and then the NCAA tournament, which they hope to host in Cuddy Arena. Jeff, hopefully this is a sign of great things to come this year for Wingate Athletics.
Ryan Brown, thanks. It's called the Grand Prix of Houston, an auto race on the IndyCar circuit that used to be run through the streets of downtown Houston, Texas. Now the race is held in the parking lot of Reliant Park, where the NFL team plays. Imagine being able to see how the race operates behind the scenes. Ben Richardson caught up with 2 Wingate students who did, so how was it?
Well, Jeff, it was through our School of Sports Sciences, which continues to excel by providing once-in-a-lifetime opportunities for our students. This time, the opportunity came with long hours, warm weather, and loud cars. In early October, 2 of our female undergraduate students, along with the Dean of Sports Sciences, traveled to Houston, Texas to work the world-renowned IndyCar Houston Grand Prix. The idea? To create networking opportunities while incorporating in-class learning with out-of-class experience. Scarlett Underwood, one of the students on the trip, loved the opportunity.
I've done dirt track events, big track, NASCAR events, and I've never done IndyCar or anything like that, so it was a completely different side of motorsports for me.
But motorsports in Houston have one factor that can easily be overlooked.
It's very muggy in Houston. Like, people complain about the humidity here. It is so bad there.
Selecting students for these opportunities can be critical, and Travis Teague, Dean of Sports Sciences, tells us it's more than just personality.
If you're going to work in sport, and it doesn't matter what the job is, you've got to have a certain work ethic that it's hard to teach, and it's just comes through experience and having that drive, and both those young ladies have that, in my opinion.
Brittany Brown, the other student on the trip, echoed Teague's thoughts.
Hard work goes a long way. If you work hard, I feel like people will notice.
Travis, Scarlett, and Brittany all agreed that the hours were long and the temperatures were challenging. Waking up at 5 a.m. to work hospitality tents and not returning to the hotel until 9 or 10 in the evening, just in time to debrief the day's activities and events.
One event in particular that we always talked about was the big wreck that happened the last day. That was definitely really crazy.
Thankfully, nobody was killed in the accident. Teague told us later that students don't get these opportunities by chance, but rather by showing signs of success in the classroom.
If those students do what they're supposed to do there and are on time and all the professional attributes we're looking for, then they grow into these bigger opportunities that we have with some of our partners.
So when I asked Brittany if she'd return to Houston given the opportunity,
I'll do it all over again. Even though it was like early mornings and like long days, it was like a great opportunity. It was great. I loved it.
In the end, I guess it's true what they say. Hard work really does pay off.
Ben, we all know motorsports is such a huge industry for the area and for the state. How much money are we talking about?
Jeff, motorsports in North Carolina is a $5 billion a year industry and provides more than 27,000 jobs. And I have to say, Wingate School of Sports Sciences is creating some great opportunities for our students.
Very impressive. Ben Richardson, thank you very much. As we head to a break, take a look at this. In the words of one alum who saw the entrance fountain, bet a lot of kids' clothes won't get washed this weekend. This is what it looked like on homecoming. A Wingate tradition. Students poured soap in the fountain. Locals say they've never seen it this full. Not bad, gang. Coming up on Wingate Today, students' research giving one small business a leg up. Kristen Johnson reports. And later, you've heard lights, camera, action. How about opera, art, construction? We'll explain coming up.
Planning your next step in life? Come complete your education in a dynamic, caring environment at Wingate University. Enrollment and construction have skyrocketed in the past 2 decades as students pursue challenging and rewarding degrees in fields like the health sciences, business, and education. U.S. News & World Report has named Wingate University the 6th best value in the South. Visit one of our 3 great campuses, Wingate, North Carolina, Hendersonville, or Charlotte, or check us out at wingate.edu. Major in a great life at Wingate University.
Welcome back to Wingate Today. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, get ready to do some speed reading.
When we have a fire in a building like this, it's a very quick, fast, hot fire.
The Wingate Fire Department, in cooperation with the Office of Residence Life, staged a mock room burn to demonstrate to students what can happen if a campus apartment or dorm room catches on fire.
It happens on campuses every year, and we hope it's not one of ours, and we hope that some of the work that we do this week helps make that happen.
The mock burn was part of Fire Safety Week and included students practicing at using a fire extinguisher. There are more than 4,000 fires in residence halls on college campuses across the U.S. each year. An average of 2 students a year are killed in those fires. In 3 minutes, a small room can be completely gone.
The biggest thing is to show people how quick a fire can evolve, grow, and spread.
Cooking is the leading cause of fires on college campuses. This is the 2nd year the Wingate Fire Department has set up the mock burn scenario on campus. There's nothing like using something visual to get your point across, and nothing like hands-on experience when it comes to learning. Students enrolled in Wingate University's adult bachelor degree program, offered at Ballantyne, are taking what they've learned and benefiting a local company. Kristen Johnson joins us now. So this was considered schoolwork for students, but could be a jump start for the company?
That's right, Jeff. Students had 8 weeks to compile a notebook on which countries would be best for Carey Manufacturing to export to. And when talking about international business, you deal with tariffs and taxes. It can get complicated, but the professor didn't have to look far for a company in order to teach his class a lesson using a real-world example. These 10 students will tell you this class was a tough one, in a good way, a way that makes you think. For 8 weeks, they became basically like a research department for a small Charlotte business.
For the students, I think it's kind of neat that they are actually trying to market something that's real. I mean, a real company, not anything that, I mean, you know, theory is great.
But reality, that's better.
You know what happens after the exam's over? You forget it. In this case, it was not. I wanted them to understand the analytical process of evaluating a country.
Professor Tom Kehoe didn't have to go far to find just the perfect place.
And that being my brother's company, Carey Manufacturing.
That put a little bit more pressure on to do a good job.
Carey Manufacturing is a distributor and exporter of the Fuji ring compressor. The product is used in numerous industries worldwide, such as food and poultry processing, bottling, and waste removal. The downturn in the economy led Carey to begin exporting 2 years ago.
Carey seeks to increase its international customer base by further expansion in the international market.
Carey selected 10 countries it could potentially export its products to. Students researched whether those places would be a good fit and potential moneymaker.
I have Brazil, and we're going to call Brazil a win-win scenario.
Students looked at cultural and economic factors, taxes, trades, and tariffs.
It was a lot more than I thought encompassing.
Canada's business practices mirror the United States, so it's going to be really easy just to do business with Canada.
Professor Kehoe and Carey say they were pleasantly surprised by the results.
I think the students, by getting with a small business, got an appreciation of the real world and how to tie the two together. I think it puts Carey, the students, Wingate University, puts all of us in a win-win scenario.
The Adult Studies program, as you saw, is made up of folks in their 20s to 50s looking to get a bachelor's degree. As one student put it, there is more research that needs to be done for Carey Manufacturing, and Jeff, Professor Kehoe says that he may incorporate additional research in future classes.
Kristen Johnson, thank you very much. The start of something big. That's the hope Wingate town leaders have now that a new pharmacy has opened in the town.
Congratulations, Wingate Pharmacy!
A ribbon cutting was held at the new Wingate Pharmacy on Highway 74 in early October. The university sold the land near the entrance to campus to the You Save It pharmacy chain, with hopes it'll ignite a business boom in the town. Wingate's mayor is banking on it.
We think this business will be the start of good things to come for our town.
We're a family-owned business, so we like to have that hometown feel. We want to care about the community that we're involved in.
The pharmacy chain invested nearly $1.5 million in the 2,400 square foot facility. You Save It says it's looking forward to partnering with students and faculty at Wingate University School of Pharmacy. Time now for our Alumni Spotlight, and we're joined by Wingate 1995 alum and contributing reporter Brian Stevenson. So Brian, who do you have for us this month?
Well, Jeff, I have a man, or should I say colonel, who has spent most of his life serving his country, but he has never forgotten his roots or his university.
Dr. Paul Little joins us now.
This is how people in the military see Colonel Paul Little. Little serves as medical editor for Defense Media Activity. In addition to his TV duties, he is in charge of radio, print, and digital media as well.
I do all things health, fitness, wellness, programming, things like that, and covering all the unique things that we have in the military, like these marvelous prosthetics that we're developing now.
In this episode, Colonel Little was able to show off this incredible technology that not only allowed the lieutenant colonel to walk, but to stand from a seated position. This is exciting technology to see because it has a far-reaching impact.
It's a spillover into the civilian community for all the people who have traumatic amputations and everything else out in the field. So this military technology has definitely helped the civilian world also.
His job has allowed him to travel the world, covering health-related issues for the military. But no matter where his travels take him, he always comes home to his roots of both Anson County and Wingate University.
It's expanded, but you don't realize how much it's expanded because of the parks, the pools, the fountains.
After his dad died when he was 16, Wingate became a natural choice for a young Paul Little to attend because it was so close to home. Wingate also became a very special place for his mom.
Mom was always interested in culture, in social activities, not social media that we talk about today, but actually social interaction between people, how to shake hands, how, things like that, etiquette, things like that.
Then President Dr. Bud Smith asked Paul's mom, Edna Pearl, to teach that to the Wingate students. She became the first teacher of the fine arts at Wingate.
I knew it was important to preserve that type of memory of my mother here on campus, and how better to do that than to help sponsor people who are from my home county of Anson County.
Jeremy Sykes is one of the first people to be awarded the Edna Pearl Little Memorial Scholarship.
It's really nice to meet somebody that's able to do such great things for the community, and it's nice to learn more about them so that you can actually know who they are instead of just emailing them or reading a book about them.
It also means that a mother's love for her son and this university will be preserved for generations to come. The Edna Pearl Little Memorial Scholarship is a $100,000 endowed scholarship to Wingate and will go to students from Anson County each year.
Brian, he seems like a wonderful alum and loves to be back home.
He certainly does, Jeff. In fact, he flies back home most weekends from Washington, D.C., where he is based, to work on his farm in Anson County.
Brian Stevenson, thank you very much. An Army Against Cancer, how organizers describe the Light the Night Walk. The local event, which raises money for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, was held at the Romare Bearden Park in Uptown Charlotte on November 2nd, and Wingate University was represented. Wingate's team, Winning, led by faculty member and cancer survivor Marilyn Hartness, raised almost $7,000 and was the second highest corporate team in contributions. 3,500 people participated in the Charlotte Light the Night Walk, which celebrates and commemorates lives touched by blood cancer. Kim Williams is with us now in our monthly look at people going over and beyond the call of duty. It's a segment we call Overtime. So what's up?
Jeff, this is a great story. It's about faculty, staff, and students coming together to combine art, music, and construction. The campus was quiet during fall break, except in McGee Theater at the Bat Center. Saws were cutting wood, artists were painting a backdrop, and a sculptor was carving styrofoam. A 10-person crew was busy transforming a stage for opera performances of Bastien and Bastiana and Regrets Only. Jason Stewart, the Bat Center's new technical director, joined forces with Jesse Wright Martin, the opera director, and came up with a plan enlisting the help of a team of students.
As I kind of got to know more people on campus, I realized that everybody here has such a sense of community. And one of the things that I really wanted to go with on that point is to try to pull in as many people as we could, because we can generate so much excitement with the things that we can do here.
Jason raised the bar when he brought in artist Frans van Baars to help create a backdrop. Originally from the Netherlands, Frans now lives, paints, and teaches in Wilson, North Carolina. He also travels to locations like Wingate to paint.
Theater, it sort of gets into your blood. It's a lot of fun because it brings all the arts together. You got your painting, you got your scenery, you got your costuming, you got your makeup, you got your dance, you got your music. You got it all coming together.
For Wingate, he sketched the backdrop for the stage on a small rectangular board and painted it to use as a guide. Watching the artist at work, the backdrop was raised and lowered as needed as carts of paint and paintbrushes wheeled back and forth. Frans worked with the theatrical paints to get them just right.
They work totally different from your regular paints. They're much brighter, more vivid. You can dilute them a lot more, but they're also thinner once you have diluted them. So getting used to that is like baking bread in one oven and baking bread in another oven.
And a 17 by 40-foot masterpiece was created. To add to the set, props were constructed by student helpers, including music education majors and art majors, as well as finance and history majors, freshmen to seniors. Some had construction experience and some just wanted to learn.
The beautiful idea was to be able to say to a student, here is a project that you can do on your own.
Ariel Morgan, a senior sculpture 3D major, was one of those students. She created and designed a sheep's head out of a block of styrofoam to go with the fountain in a garden scene.
It started off as being like a rounded rectangle, and then I just kept sanding and everything, and it's gotten down to this. And I have his nose and his mouth and his eyes, and I'm starting on his hairline right now.
All the hours of work behind the scenes, the practices and the rehearsals finally came together, and the stage became a village with a mansion on a hilltop, with billowy clouds against a blue sky, stone walls, tree-lined meadows, and green valleys tucked behind the mountains.
Looks like a lot of work. Kim, is this the end of the collaboration?
No, there's another opera coming up in the spring, and hopefully they'll all work together to make it a success too.
Thank you very much, Kim Williams. And finally here, reaching out to the community. It's not a big deal to see Wingate's mascot, Victor E. Bulldog, at Wingate athletic events, but what about this? Our cameras caught Victor E. getting down in a mascot dance-off at an elementary school in South Charlotte.
Give it up for the Wingate Bulldog. Here we go.
That's right, Victor E. in action at Polo Fest, a fall festival at Polo Ridge Elementary School in South Charlotte.
We're so glad to have the Wingate Bulldog here. And I understand the dance moves were great.
And they were. Victor E. had some tough competition in the mascot dance-off, going up against the Chick-fil-A cow, Manny the Blue Baboon, and Tony the Pony from Polo Ridge. In the end, going off on audience applause, it was Tony's night to shine. He may have had a little help with the hometown crowd. Better luck next year, Victor E. And that's our show for this time. I'm Jeff Atkinson. Thanks for watching.
Comments? Questions? Contact us. Wingate Today is a production of WUTV and Wingate University's Department of Marketing and Communications.